too many high hopes coming in, but at the same time, people are saying, well, Navi, they tend to perform suddenly, like when people least expected, when it most matters, they do turn that switch on. Of course, newbie people after the first day were like, oh, actually they're a lot better than we expected them to be, so maybe we can't underestimate them anymore. Same thing with IG, but at the end of the day, at the end of the week, they are now in the bottom half of both of their respective groups, so that's how it panned out. But yeah, you bring up a good point. Complexity, probably the biggest surprise for everyone, and as we keep mentioning, I mean, the Friedman brothers and all of their teams said, we're here to prove everyone wrong, and that motivates us a lot, and it seems like that fire is still burning, and they're willing to just push through to the very end.
I think the very big thing and strongest aspect of the team is they have a lot of different picks compared to the rest, and they are not afraid to use something that is maybe sort of out of the meta slightly. And we've been talking about teams they need the surprise factor. You can't just play a normal game against the stronger teams. So I feel a lot of their positive results came from the surprise factor against the much more formidable opponents they had in the group. So they're just picking something out of maybe their opponent's comfort zone, and the opponents are just not ready to deal with it during the 2-game series itself.
We've seen them pick, excuse me, they've played Centaur on Moon Meander. I think they're the only team. My Empire, I think, picked one game as well.
Yeah, there was like one other game, I think, one or two, yeah.
I think there was another game as well today.
Oh, I think Navi.
I remember seeing
Navi.
Yeah,
it was Navi. You're right.
Centaur,
So I guess we're talking about the same game. So, yeah, they've picked Centaur for Moon Meander. They've picked Prophet for Moon Meander.
Enigma as well.
They have played Enigma on, I believe it's been Fly.
The support.
Z-Freak.
The other guy.
Z-Freak, yeah. Z-Freak on the Enigma. They've picked Sven, I think, both with and without Wisp for. Was that also for Ziz? So I believe in both games.
They pulled out the techies, of course.
Techies,
yeah,
which
sure.
They even
a year ago would have been really, or not a year ago, because a year ago he wasn't in the game. A few months ago would have been like, wow, they picked techies. But in this tournament, it's kind of like, it's not a very normal pick, but it's also not crazy. Like it's more crazy to pick a Sven than a techies.
I mean, is it a crazy normal pick right now?
It's not crazy.
Like
but
I think. Coming in, obviously, that was kind of the joke, right? Everyone said, we want to see more techies. Obviously, for viewers, it's always kind of exciting how that changes the game. And it's, I guess for viewers, when you're not on the receiving end, it's always satisfying to see someone get blown up by a bunch of mines. But we saw it quite frequently. So I'm in agreement with Sin here saying that it's not exactly crazy. It is still situational, but at the same time, it's definitely like a high situational pick rather than something like only 2 teams have prepared or something like that coming into TI5.
I'm very curious about complexity on how they're going to be when it's key arena time. I was very impressed with how they're able to perform here on LAN. Like I said before, I know like Ziz in particular never had been at a LAN. This is his first LAN. For some of their other players, they've been to LANs for other MOBAs, but not